My reaction to RWBY Volume 5, Chapter 6. Last time on RWBY, so we spent a lot of time in Menagerie. Blake and Sun tried to get signatures from people to help them defend Haven from the White Fang and from Adam. Blake said the people in Menagerie just want to be left alone. The people who are not born in Menagerie move there because they don't want to deal with the world. So you can't exactly expect them to rise up and fight back. And then so Blake thought about how he or she thought when she meets someone, they're the personification of this world. For Ruby, it's purity. For Yang, it's strength. For Weiss, it's defiance. And for Simon, she's leaning towards earnestness. And for Adam, she eventually realized that he was spite. Not hatred, rage, it's spite. He just wants the world to suffer for what they did to him. He wants to pay them back for what he did. And she feels like Ilya is slowly turning into Adam and now she wants to save her. But unfortunately, Corsac and Fennec have now asked Ilya to spy on Blake and to try and get on her good side. So they want her to kill Blake's parents before capturing Blake and taking her to Adam. So it seems like Ilya's going to be trying to spy on Blake and maybe she'll try to pretend like she's on Blake's side and they'll have to try and expose her. My guess is Sun will find out and Blake will have a hard time believing it, but hopefully I could be wrong. I've seen that happen so many times before. I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but we'll have to see. Meanwhile, Oscar is continuing to train with his cane, and Ruby told him what happened to Penny and Pyrrha and why she still fights, and how she's able to keep going after everything that happened to her. She finds it scary, but it's scary for her to think of all the people she could lose if she doesn't fight, and she doesn't want that to happen. So, yeah, so it's mostly a Menagerie episode, just some catching up a lot of character development. So, maybe we'll get some more progression this time. That was a nice character building episode, but I'm ready to go a bit forward now, so hopefully that'll happen in this episode, but we'll have to find out. So let's see. This is RWBY Volume 5, Chapter 6, known by its song. Don't know what that's supposed to mean. The episode is starting right now. Back to the fairy tale, back to the show. I turn on the captions for the song. What's going on in the background though? Series created by Monty Oum. Okay, now what's happening? Who's this? Is it Crow? Yeah, it's Crow.
Regular or the special?
I'm actually looking for someone. Goes by the name Shiro Wan.
Shiro Wan.
I heard he's a regular around here.
Who's asking?
Crow Bronwyn.
Hey, I'm not some cop, if that's what you mean. I need Shiro for a gig. We go way back.
Way back, huh? So, he's a friend of yours.
Yeah, I'd say so. He's a pretty alright guy.
Well, in that case, you tell that jerk that he better not show his ugly face in here until he pays me the lien he owes me.
Honestly, friend.
Oh no, Crow!
Really, we're just
Oh, poor Crow.
Anyways, thanks for your time, buddy. I'll just be taking off now.
Well, that didn't work. One Shiro, no go. Griffin Blanca.
Great start.
Oh gosh, Crow, be careful. I know you used this, but. Griffin. Nope. Ah. Oh, Crow. Yeah. That was bad imitation, I know. Oh, Crow.
Heather Shields.
Heather Shields. I'm close now.
Oh, hey there. I'm looking for Heather. Look, pal, I've had a rough day. Do you know where she is or not?
Daddy? Does he know where Mommy is?
What?
No!
Fans sign up. Okay, going back in 3, 2, 1.
I'm sorry to bother you.
What happened to her? She's gone. Oh. What happened to her? It's all no show. Mission type searching. TL Carol. I'm sure. Nothing, Crow? Okay, next time just put on auto only then. Is he gone back to the same place?
You got a lot of nerve showing up back here. Unless you brought that idiot with you.
How much did Shiro owe you?
Well, I'd say about 16,000 Liat.
16,000. Oh, what? Crow?
Wait, what? Man, you must be in some serious trouble with him if you're paying me off.
His name is clear.
Yeah.
What happened to him? He's gone.
Idiot.
He's gone, isn't he? Wait.
Yeah.
So are they all gone? So are they all gone? Oh. Okay, yes. Dang, twice. Even.
You can wait outside. Thank you. So, what's the truth? You know, it's better when it's hot.
You know, you're really obnoxious.
The truth is that truth is hard to come by. A story of victory for one person is a story of defeat for someone else. By now, your uncle has surely told Ruby and her friends plenty of stories. Well, he's never given me a reason to doubt him before. That doesn't mean those reasons don't exist.
So then talk, Raven.
You
Tell
know,
them.
you and your teammates might as well be the poster children for the Huntsman Academies. Your motives vary, but you all enrolled to try and make the world a better place. It's adorable.
It's what huntsmen and huntresses do.
Not all of them. Some people are just in it for the money and the fame, but there's even more that are just looking to grow stronger. Your Uncle Crow and I didn't attend Beacon to become huntsmen. We did it to learn how to kill huntsmen.
What?
Daddy and Uncle left that part out, Aside from the Grimm, huntsmen were the only ones capable of ruining our raids and hunting us down. Our tribe needed a counterforce.
That's
And
why
Crow and I
you're...
were the perfect age. The entrance exams were child's play compared to what we'd already been through. We were good. So good that we caught the attention of Beacon's very own headmaster,
Osmond.
Professor Osborne. Even after we were put on a team, I could tell he was keeping his eye on us. Back then, I thought it was because he knew.
What?
But it was Team Stark he was interested in.
What do you mean by that?
Constant attention, extra training missions, turning a blind eye whenever we happened to break the rules and get into more trouble than we should have.
Same way,
Sound familiar?
your teammates did the same thing.
What's your point?
How much do you know about Professor Osborne? About his past?
He was a prodigy, one of the youngest headmasters to be appointed to a school.
Because that's how he planned it. Because the man you know as Osborne designed those schools, and has followers inside every academy on Remnant that are loyal to him and no one else.
That doesn't make any sense. How could he have... No. Why would someone even do that?
Because Old Man Oz has a great and terrible secret. One that could spread fear across the world. One that he eventually entrusted to our team. And once I knew, there was no going back. I needed to know more. But with every new discovery I made, the more horrifying the world became.
Okay, then tell us. What's the big secret? What's so crazy that the rest of us don't know?
The creatures of Grimm have a master named Salem. She can't be stopped, she can't be reasoned with, and she will not rest until humanity crumbles at her feet.
What?
See,
You know you two haven't even touched your tea.
okay, so now they've heard
Why
this
should we
thing.
believe any of this?
Now you're catching on. So far you've done nothing but accept what others tell you. But you need to question everything. Otherwise you'll end up just as blind as Crow. And your fool of a father.
Don't you! Dude, what time?
Don't you dare talk about my family like that! You need to calm down.
Yang, please.
Listen to your friend, Yang. Your teammates never let you down before.
You don't know the first thing about my teammates. About me. You were never there. You left us. Why?
I know more than you realize. Not just about you, and not just what I've been told, but things I've seen with my own eyes. I know the Grimm have a leader. I know people who can come back from the dead. I know that magic is real. And I can prove it.
With her. Is she the Spring Maiden?
You said Ty told you all about my semblance. Well, I doubt he ever told you what Oz did to my brother and me.
What did he do to this group?
Go see for yourself.
What?
Mom?
Raven, where'd she go?
Yang, are you okay?
I'll be fine once we could get her to take us to RWBY.
It's okay if you're not okay.
You didn't believe what she said, right?
Of course not. Well, not all of it. It was crazy. We have dust, semblances, but I mean, there's no such thing as magic.
What?
A raven?
seen that bird before.
Is that her?
Maybe it belongs to your mom?
Wait, can she turn into a one too? Is that why Crow can turn into a bird? Oh, it's the same thing as Crow, right? They're gonna cut away. Yep. That's how Crow can do it. It's Osman gave her that power.
How did you do that?
Osman gave her that power.
Well, I could explain it to you. Or you could ask your uncle. You're letting us go? I'm giving you a choice. Stay here with me, and I'll answer all of your questions and more. We can have a fresh start.
You want one, Yang? Or?
Or you can go back to Crow and join Osmond's impossible war against Salem. And meet the same fate as so many others. But can you really go back to trusting someone that's kept so much from you?
All I care about is making sure my sister is safe.
Wait, she's gonna take the bike to go through it?
Yeah. If you side with your uncle, I may not be as kind the next time we meet.
You weren't kind this time either.
Oh well.
I know.
No.
This isn't right. I get one or two of them, but
All of them?
all of them?
How are they all going?
Raven.
Nope.
Oh.
Oh, that's Nora.
How?
Nora, don't eat them. Nora's eating them.
Alright, the first batch is just about done.
Awesome! Now we just need Crow and we'll be all set.
Nora!
Do you really think he's going to bring that many people? This is a lot of food.
Don't eat it all, Nora!
I don't know. But it sounds like we can use all the help we can get.
Nora's eating it all.
Back.
Be right there!
You're going to overcook that.
No, I'm not. Shut up!
Hey, Ruby.
I'm coming!
It's overcooked.
Fine, you take over. So, we didn't know how many people were coming, so we just...
Oh gosh! Don't! Why is it eating?
Yang, I'm so sorry. I should have stayed, and I should have talked to you more. I wasn't sure if you wanted me around it.
You know Yang, but in that Ruby, come on. Why is it also
I
back
love
to
you.
I love you too.
Wait, where's Oscar? Wise.
Wise.
Come on, Wise, bring it in. Come on, Wise. Ah. Now I need is Blake. Now it's in Blake. Wait, that's it? Oh. again a very informative episode. Was mostly so Yang and Weiss finally told sorry, not Yang, Weiss, Raven finally told them about Salem, about how she is the mastermind behind all the Grim, about how she wants to bring humanity down to its knees and she won't stop until that happens, and that Osmond is not the person she thinks he is. And actually, so Raven is also able to turn into a raven herself, and so Crow actually did turn into a bird. According to her, it was Osmond who gave that power to her. Osmond used some magic on her and Crow, and now they're able to turn into Raven and Crow respectively. So that's how they're both able to do that. So Yang has seen that bird around quite a lot, and that bird was actually her mom the whole time. So her mom has been keeping tabs on her all along. That's how she knows about everything. And so Crow actually did turn into a crow after all. It wasn't just a cutaway. I guess it'd be pretty hard to animate, so I guess I had to cut it away. But I guess now we have an official confirmation about it. So the Raven offered to have a fresh start with Yang. So the Raven gave Yang two options: to stay and have a fresh start, or go to Crow and have him explain everything. So Yang decided to go where Crow was and make sure his sister was safe. So when she and Weiss went through the portal she made, Yang had to bring her bike all the way there, and yeah, so now they're with RWBY and the others. So now 3 members of Team RWBY are finally back together. Yang, Weiss and Blake are finally together. Sorry, RWBY, Weiss and Yang are finally together again. Now all we need is Blake and Team RWBY will be back together once again. Blake's still in Menagerie though, she still has to save Ilya, so it still seems like she has a lot to do before she's all set to make her way to Haven. But eventually she will come to Haven, and then that's when Team RWBY will finally be back together again. I'll be really happy when that happens. It's nice to see Yang, Weiss and RWBY back together again. RWBY had tried to apologize to Yang, but knowing Yang, she forgave RWBY and hugged her. And she also told Weiss to bring it in, and they did. And when they were trying to make dinner, Nora was eating all the carrots herself. So she was cutting it, cutting it. And so they weren't sure how many people were there, so they tried to make as much as they could. Speaking of that, so at the beginning of the episode, Crow tried to find the people on his list, but for some reason, none of them were anywhere to be found. They were missing and they hadn't been around town for a while. He just couldn't find them at all. They were either gone or just missing, I guess. None of them were anywhere to be found, and Crow has no idea why. Maybe Watts and Lionheart has something to do with it, because Lionheart was acting strangely, and I think he knows Crow well enough to know that Crow would think of another solution and targeted the huntsman who he knew that Crow would go after. So yeah, so I think Lionheart and Watts did something, and maybe that's why Crow isn't able to find a lot of huntsmen. So the real reason Crow and Raven enlisted in Beacon Academy was not to become huntsmen, but it was to become strong enough to fight against other huntsmen. Huntsmen and huntresses have always been a problem to their tribe, and so they wanted to get the strength needed to fight them off and help the tribe. And they thought Osmond was interested in them, but he kept turning a blind eye and kept sparing them from what would otherwise be severe punishments for breaking the rules, just like Team RWBY did in the first 3 volumes. Raven thought he was just interested in her and Crow, but he was actually interested in the whole of Team Stark. Maybe he knew about her and Crow, and now we know that it was Osmond who gave them both the power to turn into a crow and a raven. And I think also he knew about Summer having silver eyes. Crow mentioned that at the end of Volume 3 that Summer had the silver eyes. So it makes sense why Crow would want to keep an eye on her like he did for RWBY. But I don't know what he saw in Ty. Maybe because Ty was part of their group. I guess, yeah. Okay, so they were pretty much in the same boat as Team RWBY at that time. And so after learning about Salem and all that, Raven just lost her trust in Crow and left them behind and returned back to her tribe. Well, Crow decided to continue helping Osmond and join the fight against Salem, but Raven didn't want any part of it. She wanted to go back to her people and help them out, and now she's become their leader. So she's now taking them to Crow, and now they're straight back together again. Now all we need is Blake and Team RWBY will be back together again, and then they'll be all set to defend Haven Academy. So maybe next time we'll get some more focus on Blake and Ilya. And now the 3 members of Team RWBY are back together again, there will be a lot less split focus because now there are only like 2 or 3 storylines to worry about now. Blake, Sun and Ilya, Adam and Hazel, and these 3 members of Team RWBY. And so they also need to introduce Oscar and learn the truth about Osmond. So I guess now those who are finally going to learn about the 4 maidens and about the relics also. Crow is finally going to tell them the truth, and now they'll all be brought up to speed. Just can't wait for Blake to finally join back up with them again. So don't know how long we have to wait until that happens, but let's wait and see. I doubt we've seen the last of Raven just yet. I'm pretty sure she'll come back at some point, so let's see how that turns out eventually. Well, I'm sure she'll have to come back because she still has the Spring Maiden with her, and Cinder is trying to go after her in order to get the Spring Maiden so that they can get the relic at Haven. So yeah, so we're definitely going to see more of Raven again, I'm pretty sure of it. So let's see how that turns out next time. I'm glad Ruby, Weiss, and Yang are together again. Now let's wait and see what happens when Blake finally joins up with them again. My reaction is now done.